These are the adventures of a temporarily out of work wife and mother. Last Saturday was the Empanada Festival. Then I used my primers from Lashing Out Glam. My girl Chastity gave me this tip to use both of those primers together. And when I say they create a smooth base in preparation for a flawless finish, they do just that. I went in with my Benefit pencil, and if you know, I have micro shaded brows, but I like to shape them differently whenever I'm wearing makeup. I use my NYX matchsticks to conceal under and above my brows, and then I used a lighter shade to give a highlighted effect underneath the brow. And I use those same shades on my face in the areas where I plan to highlight. Then I went in with my Fenty contour stick on my cheekbones, my chin, my forehead, under my lip for a pout, and on my nose. Then I went in with my Beauty Shop 2-in-1 blush lipstick and used my Yummy Skin Tint instead of a foundation to give it a more natural look. And then I went in with my all over face brush by the Beauty Shop to just begin blending in that skin tint. I also blended the blush with it and a good portion of the concealer as well. And then I used that same brush to blend my contour. Yes, that brush is the bomb. There is no transfer, so I don't have to worry about pressing into my contour and then pressing into my highlight and those colors transferring or mixing because the brush is the truth. Lastly, I blended out the highlight on my forehead, my nose, and under my eye and on my chin using the Beauty Shop patter brush. I also blended the concealer under and on my eyelid so that it was seamless. Once I had that thoroughly blended, I blended out the contour on my nose, and then I used that face brush to make sure that there was no lines of demarcation, and then I sprayed my face down with that Morphe setting mist, fanned it dry, and used one of my Beauty Shop puffs to apply some Beauty Shop multi-purpose loose powder in the color Tan Deep to all of the places where I used highlight or where I wanted a contrast, like under the contour on my cheeks. Once I had all of that powder pressed in, I went back under the eyes to make sure that I put some additional powder before I sprayed down again. That powder is waterproof, so you'll notice that when I spray it, it disappears, and then when I use the fan, it comes back, which is exactly what I want. So then I went ahead and powder contoured, powder blushed, applied some highlight to the tip of my nose and above my lips. Since I don't have a Cupid's bow, I like to make it look like I do. And then I put a little bit of that highlighter on my cheeks as well. And then I use that face brush and my finishing powder or my face powder to make that all meld together. I applied some Clinique mascara, and then I just used my blush to go above my eyes to give it a little bit of color to make it almost appear like I did eyeshadow.